so thorough. That is, you know, he doesn't do stand-up that often, so him lighting it up like that is great.
Awesome.
That is great. So, very special guests we have here tonight. We have Dara and Rich Johnson. They are the supreme overlords of the Denver St. Baldrick's Foundation event. We have asked them here to explain to you why this is a great foundation and event to participate in. So, Dara, I'm going to start with you.
Great.
How are you doing, Dara?
Oh, I'm fabulous.
Good. And how has the week leading up to the event been?
It's just been incredible.
That's fantastic.
Not busy at all.
I can't imagine. How many shavies are we preparing for this year?
470, but we'll end up over 500.
We will. What do we think that the Denver event is going to gross this year?
450. That's my
$450,000.
I think
$450,000.
Yeah.
What did we pull in last year?
485.
So we'll see.
We
can trump that.
We can do that.
We can do more.
Now, to our loving audience out there, what does the event look like? What is a day in the life of the St. Baldrick's Foundation event?
Man, it is probably a whole bag of emotions for sure. You will laugh, you will cry, and everything in between for sure. We've got a ridiculous amount of games to keep everybody entertained. I think we have cotton candy, we have giant Jengas this year, we have popcorn,
Nachos,
hot dogs,
bags,
we
and
have
if all else fails, beer.
lots of beer. We have a bubble machine this year.
All else never fails, but the beer is still okay.
Yes, it is.
And cold.
Yeah.
And I understand that there's a special cast of characters that will be coming around. The Frozen characters, I believe.
Yeah, just a small cast. I know a lot of people haven't heard of Frozen.
Right.
But
It's this Adele Dazeem lady is going to be.
They are the international cast. It was very hard to get them, but we have managed to acquire every single one of them, including
Sven and Olaf are coming
Sven
too.
and Olaf will be
Everybody.
there. Yep.
And they contacted a couple of their friends who happen to be Tinkerbell.
Tinkerbell
Peter
will be
Pan.
there, and Peter Pan.
They're coming too.
That is wonderful.
Yep.
So absolutely a family event. Now let me ask. What you've been doing this for 7 or 8 years now? You've been running it. Are there any particularly high moments, high watermark moments that I mean really touching or funny or anything that particularly stands out?
One thing that stands out for me is a gentleman, you probably remember his name, who comes every year. He had extremely long hair and he brings a whole team of folks with him. Obviously we shaved his head because everybody gets their head shaved. But he had this ridiculously long mustache. And after we shaved his head, I'm like, okay, there's something going on here. I said, hey man, what's the deal with the mustache? And immediately he was extremely defensive and he goes, no. Time out, man. He goes, I've been married for 19 years and my wife has never seen me without this mustache. I'll shave my head every year, but I can't, if anybody touches this mustache, she'll divorce me. Well, that just sounded like
a challenge.
A perfect challenge.
Right.
So, of course, we got the entire crowd involved and said, hey, guys, guess what? This guy's wife's in the audience. They've been married 19 years, and she's never seen him without this big handlebar mustache. So, what's it going to take to get rid of this mustache? So, we passed out a hat, and we started passing it around, and we said, okay, well, this is obviously a big deal. He was a little freaked out, but he was still sitting in his seat, prepared to, you know, kind of see where this thing went. And we raised about $500, so we shaved one side of his mustache. And we refused to shave the other half until we collected another $500. So I think about $1,200 later, that mustache was gone. I'm happy to say that he's still happily married.
Fantastic.
And he comes back, and sure enough, he's slowly growing the mustache back. Actually, last year he was there, and he was the guy passing the hat around.
Perfect.
We had a guy with dreadlocks, and we shaved his dreadlocks off, and all sorts.
That's great.
So it doesn't matter. We're going to shave you one way or another. We're going to get you shaved.
That is great.
So
well, it's a fantastic foundation. Why are you guys involved with St. Baldrick's above all of the other extremely worthy charitable organizations in Denver and the world? Why Baldrick's?
Simple for me is a couple of reasons. First and foremost, cancer happens to the majority of the world eventually. Everyone knows someone with cancer. The cool thing about possibly finding cures for childhood cancers is that if we do, then that will just transfer easily and correspond to adult cancer. So if we can solve the simple problem of pediatric cancers, then the big problem of adult cancers that are even more complex, no problem. So that's first and foremost. St. Baldrick's is definitely the charity of choice for us because of the amount of money that goes directly back to research. Their overhead and their admin costs are extremely low. Over 80% are going straight back to research, and that's what's up.
So almost all of St. Baldrick's is volunteer driven, and it's folks obviously like ourselves and yourselves that are generating this money, and you can literally see directly where it goes, and it is a lot of local folks get the funds.
It's impacting people directly. All of our honored families have stories of how a specific research has helped their child live more years. Awesome.
And this is what people probably don't realize is if you can literally Google the 50th, the top 50 worst charities, and this is pretty sad, but if you Google the top 50 worst charities, then of those 50 that come up nationally, 10 or 11 are associated with cancer.
Yeah.
The sad thing is when you really start to drill down on how much of that money Dara's talking about actually goes back to actually helping the cause, you can find statistics as low as 0.1% to 8% of the money that you donate actually gets to the recipient.
The average is generally 15 to 20%, and we're in the other direction of 80%.
So almost all of St. Baldrick's is volunteer driven, and it's folks obviously like ourselves and yourselves that are generating this money, and you can literally see directly where it goes, and it is a lot of local folks get the funds.
It's impacting people directly. All of our honored families have stories of how a specific research has helped their child live more years.
It's great. Yep. That is great. Anything else that you guys wanted to add? Any other send-offs to our millions and millions of fans out there?
We need more Shavies.
More.
At the end of the day, in order to continue to grow this event, in order to become the biggest event in the world, there is now, I think, over 1,200 worldwide events. The Denver Fido's event is number 3 in the world. But at the end of the day, what we need more than anything is more people willing to sign up and shave their heads. That's the biggest cash generator, if you like, that will hopefully one day put us number 1 in the world. And we just need more people. I think if you come down to this event and experience it, it is definitely heart-wrenching. But chances are you'll be hooked for life, and you'll realize why it's such an amazing event.
So come your first year.
Yeah. Just ask.
Come your first year, have beers your first year and watch, and then come back the next year and shave.
As Rich mentioned, the Denver event is the number 3 event now. It's when you guys came on board, it was in the 20s, mid-20s. So, you're great. You guys are rock stars. Thank you very much for your time. I know it's extremely busy. This is the Tuesday before the Friday event, so it was horrible of me to ask you up here today. But thank you very much for your time. What about you?
Thanks for having us, Finn.
Anything you want to add?
No.
Nope.
You gonna get rid of those shaggy locks? Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Thank you very much. So coming up after the break, we're going to play a game. But first, we actually have a little surprise. It is the Foo Fighters.